Some people spend their lives trying to fit in, trying to be normal, going with the flow, moving at the rhythm of the world. But you always knew that you were different. Even without knowing the name, even without being able to explain it, you felt that your path was unique. And you were not wrong. From a young age, you notice what no one talks about. You feel the weight of places that seem light to others. You see truths in people that everyone calls good. You feel pains that are not yours. You carry questions that no one around you understands. And perhaps for a long time, you believed that this was a problem. But it wasn't. It was a sign. Some are born with an invisible mission, and before the world recognizes them, heaven sets them apart. These are the chosen ones. And they don't receive a manual. They receive signs, repetitive moments, strange situations, things that seem out of the ordinary, but are just heaven trying to get your attention. What you are going to hear in this video is not pre-packaged content. It's not a memorized theory. It's a message meant for those who have lived what they can't explain. These are 5 things that only happen to those who carry a spiritual gift. Things that, if they make sense to you, will confirm what you may have already felt inside, but never had the courage to accept. You are not exaggerating. You are not crazy. You are not alone. You have been set apart. Now, before we continue, I need to speak frankly with you. This channel is not for everyone. There's no spectacle here, nor empty phrases. Here, we talk to those who feel. To those who carry something that the world doesn't see, but that God has already recognized. So, if this message resonates with your spirit, subscribe here. Not to follow a trend, but to walk together. This is a place for those who seek clarity, confirmation, and direction, because those who have been chosen sooner or later need to remember who they are, and perhaps this is your moment. Let's get started. Some people see, and some people feel before they see. The chosen one is part of the second group. They don't need proof, explanation, or warning. The Spirit has already let them know. The environment changes, and something inside them shifts. It's as if something invisible whispers, "Pay attention." This is not ordinary. This sensitivity is not a burden. It is a gift. But at first it seems confusing, because others do not feel. They do not perceive. And then the chosen one begins to think they are exaggerating, that perhaps they are imagining things, but they are not. What they feel is real. It just isn't visible. The chosen one enters a place and their body seems to freeze. A subtle restlessness, a discomfort that has no name. The place is clean, people are smiling, but the heart is on alert. That is not fear. It is discernment. It is the Holy Spirit saying, "This place is not safe for your soul." Many times this also happens with people. There are those who present themselves well, speak beautifully, and are friendly. But something there doesn't fit. The chosen one doesn't know what it is, but they feel that energy doesn't match theirs. And later, when the masks fall, everything is confirmed. This happens because those who carry a spiritual gift also carry a radar that is always on. They pick up the invisible. They sense when the environment is charged, when the spiritual atmosphere is heavy, when there's something hidden behind what seems normal. It's as if their spiritual eyes are always open. The world calls this intuition. But those who are spiritual know that this is discernment. It is heaven protecting. It is God signaling. It is the sensitivity of someone who has been set apart to walk with purpose and, therefore, needs to see beyond what others see. This perception can cause the chosen one to distance themselves from environments even before understanding the reason. And many times they blame themselves for this. They think they are being cold, antisocial, but that's not it. They are simply obeying what the Spirit feels. and that is wisdom. The gift of feeling the spiritual comes early. Many children already demonstrate this. They cry for no reason in certain places. They refuse the embrace of people who no one suspects. They prefer silence over commotion. And when they grow up, they come to understand that it wasn't too much sensitivity. It was discernment already at work. The most important thing is not to ignore these signs. Every strange sensation, every shiver at an odd time, every tightness in the chest when entering certain places can be a warning. And those who are chosen need to learn to listen to what the body and spirit are trying to say. Over time, this sensitivity becomes a compass. The chosen one learns to trust what they feel. They learn to take a step back when the spirit requests it. They learn not to force their presence where peace has been removed. Because where the Spirit of God is not, the chosen one cannot remain either. This perception is not a burden. It is protection. It is direction. It is a gift. If you live this, do not fight against it. Embrace it. Ask God for wisdom to interpret what you feel. And understand, this sensitivity is one of the clearest marks of those who have been set apart. It is one of the first ways that heaven uses to communicate with those who carry a calling. What the world ignores, you feel. And this is not a mistake. It is a sign. The heart of the chosen one does not function like that of others. It feels more. It feels first. It feels inside and out. And it is not exaggeration or weakness. It is spiritual sensitivity. It's as if the soul is constantly exposed to the world, connected with everything around. Those who carry a spiritual gift also carry a heart that opens easily. A simple gesture can move them. A word can touch deeply. A prayer can provoke silent tears. Even without noise, something inside the chosen one lights up and burns with intensity. Sometimes they don't even understand why they are so touched, but they feel. They feel the environment, the pain of others, the sadness that is not theirs, the joy of someone they don't even know. This type of sensitivity cannot be explained with logic. It is lived, and it is honored. Many people confuse this intensity with fragility, but it is not. A heart that feels deeply is a strong heart. It takes courage to continue loving when one feels everything so intensely. It takes strength not to shut down after so many emotional wounds. The chosen one has an extraordinary empathy. They are compassionate. They care. They notice hidden tears, forced smiles, unspoken words. Their soul listens to what others ignore. This happens because God uses their heart as a channel of care. This emotional intensity is also used as a tool for prayer. The chosen one does not pray vacantly. They pray with commitment. When they pray, they feel heaven moving. And many times they cry without knowing why. But the Spirit knows. It's as if the heart responds directly to the presence of God. During worship, while everyone sings, the chosen one may be silent and still be on fire inside. Their body shivers. Their eyes fill with tears. Their soul pours out in worship, even without words. It's as if heaven is there, touching just them at that very moment. This sensitivity also generates fatigue. Feeling so much can be exhausting, because you can't shut it off. Even trying, the chosen one feels everything more deeply. But this heart was shaped for this. It is not by chance. God does not waste feeling. He transforms sensitivity into mission. And that is why the chosen one often feels lonely. Because not everyone understands this type of heart. People distance themselves because they don't know how to handle the intensity. Others get closer just to drain. But the chosen one continues, because they know that this gift was given with a purpose. They also become emotional about miracles that others do not even notice. A transformed life, an unexpected answer, a prayer answered in silence. They see God in the details, and for that reason they are moved, because they recognize the hand of God where many only see coincidence. If you live like this, don't try to dim your light. Don't try to fit into a mold that doesn't serve you. Your heart was made to feel more, to carry love when the world offers coldness, to be comfort where there is only silence. The heart of the chosen one is fertile ground. In it, God plants intercession, healing, compassion, purpose. And this gift should not be ignored or repressed. It must be cared for, cultivated, used wisely. If you feel like no one else feels, know this. It's because you were made to touch where no one else can reach. And this is one of the greatest signs that heaven has trusted you. It's 3 a.m, sometimes a little later. You wake up suddenly, without an alarm, without noise, without explanation. Your body wakes up, but your mind is still in the dark. You look around. Everything is calm. But inside you, something stirs. And for as strange as it seems, this scene happens frequently. This silent awakening is not common. It is not a coincidence either. It is a calling. Those chosen by God are often awakened at this hour, because there is a spiritual movement happening that the eyes cannot see. It is when the world sleeps, but heaven is speaking. In the Bible, this time is known as the watch of the night, a moment when the spiritual intensifies, when the noise of the earth silences, and the voice of God becomes clearer for those with sensitive ears. And the chosen listen even if they don't understand right away. Waking up at this hour may seem tiring, and sometimes it is. But when you begin to realize that this happens with a purpose, the experience changes. The discomfort turns into attention. The restlessness becomes sensitivity. The interrupted sleep turns into space for communion. Do not ignore these awakenings. Get up, even if it is just for a few minutes. Speak to God in a low voice, or even in thought. Sometimes you don't even need to ask for anything. Just being there, available, is enough for something in your spirit to align with what heaven is doing. You might ask, Lord, what do you want to show me? And even if the answer doesn't come in an audible form, you will notice a different piece, a sudden idea, a dream that completes itself, an answer you have been waiting for. God communicates with the chosen ones in an intimate way. Sometimes this calling in the early morning comes with strong dreams. Other times, with a racing heart, with a memory, with someone's name. All of this can be a sign that heaven is enveloping you in something that goes far beyond what it seems. Having this type of sensitivity is not easy. Most people do not understand. But those who carry a calling need to learn to hear heaven in moments when the world is silent. Because many of the greatest revelations do not happen amid noise, but in the stillness of the night. If you have been living this, embrace it. Do not run away. You are being trained to perceive, pray, and intercede. You are being awakened because God knows that, even tired, your spirit is ready. And this is already a sign of trust. The chosen one does not wake up in the middle of the night by chance. They wake up because they have been summoned. And heaven knows exactly whom to call. Not everyone notices, but some people carry something different. They don't need to speak loudly or draw attention. Just by entering a place, something changes. It's as if the atmosphere adjusts, the environment responds, and those with discernment quickly realize, this person carries a presence that is not common. The chosen one doesn't just feel the environment, they also transform it. Wherever they go, there is either peace or discomfort. But not because of their appearance or words. It is the spiritual light they carry that provokes this reaction. Light doesn't need to make noise, but it always exposes what was hidden. And that doesn't always please. There are places where, when the chosen one enters, the conversation changes. Laughter diminishes. People's gazes divert. Some distance themselves without explanation. Others withdraw, as if caught by surprise. This happens because what is inside the chosen one confronts what is out of order. This transformation is not controlled. It happens naturally. The chosen one carries a presence that stirs the spiritual. Their essence provokes movement. Sometimes it heals. Sometimes it reveals. Sometimes it disturbs. But it never goes unnoticed, because where there is light, what is in darkness stirs. That is why the chosen one is often misinterpreted, called unfriendly, strange, too reserved. But the problem is not them. It's what they provoke in people. They reveal intentions, and not everyone is ready to deal with the truth they represent. On the other hand, there are places where the arrival of the chosen one brings relief. The atmosphere changes, the burden lifts, confusion gives way to peace. Children approach. People feel comfortable opening their hearts. The presence of the chosen one becomes a point of balance, even if they do not say a word. This spiritual influence does not come from titles or human recognition. It comes from what heaven has planted within them. It is the result of consecration, silent processes, and a sensitivity that has been refined over time. The chosen one does not impose their presence. They simply carry it. This also explains why, at times, the chosen one feels like they don't fit anywhere. Because where there is spiritual messiness, their presence is uncomfortable. Where there is falsehood, their essence exposes the truth. Where there is insincerity, their light disturbs. They don't need to point it out. They simply exist. And that alone is a confrontation. This ability to transform environments is a gift, but it is also a responsibility. The chosen one needs to have wisdom to deal with the effects of this. Not all discomfort is rejection. Not all resistance is personal. Many times, it is just the light showing where shadows were hidden. And that is also purpose. If you see yourself in this description, know this. You have been set apart to change atmospheres. Your presence was not made to go unnoticed. It was made to illuminate. And if some distance themselves, it is because they were not ready to handle what you carry. And that's okay. Not everyone will understand. The important thing is not to dim your light. Do not try to shape yourself to be accepted where your light causes discomfort. You were not called to camouflage. You were called to transform. And transformation is not always comfortable, but it is always necessary. Carrying this presence is a sign of purpose. And those with purpose leave a mark wherever they go, even in silence, even without intention. Because when the chosen one enters, the environment changes. For healing, for confrontation, for transformation. You're not common, and what you carry is not either. The mind of the chosen one rarely finds silence. Even in moments of rest, there is a constant flow of thoughts, ideas, loose phrases, memories, and visions. Sometimes it seems confusing, sometimes even tiring. But what is happening, in fact, is heaven blowing messages into them. God speaks in many ways, and with the chosen one, he plants visions, seeds that have not yet blossomed, but have already been sown. The chosen one's heart feels, the mind processes, and the spirit stirs. That is why, in many moments, the chosen one seems distant, even when present. They think a lot. But it is not just worry, it is sensitivity. It is as if inside them there is an antenna, always picking up something invisible. Ideas that come from nowhere, phrases that arise at unexpected moments, images that appear in the mind as if they were daydreams. This agitated mind is not a sign of confusion, it is spiritual movement. When God has something great to do through someone, he starts by placing it in the form of vision. The path is not yet clear, but the pieces are being revealed little by little. And this causes a sacred restlessness. That is why the chosen one needs to learn to record, to note dreams, to keep ideas, to write down words that arise in the silence. What seems small today may be direction tomorrow. A loose phrase can become an answer. A forgotten dream can be a strategy sent by God. Many chosen ones feel that they carry something within them, but do not know what it is. And this constant feeling of waiting for something that doesn't arrive may be exactly that. A purpose being gestated. God works in silence while preparing the heart and shaping the mind. If you live with a full mind and feel that there is something great wanting to be born inside you, don't fight against it. Allow yourself to listen. Allow yourself to feel and understand. You are not overwhelmed. You are being instructed. Heaven does not waste revelation. And if it is coming to you, it is because there is a mission waiting for your response. There are days when everything seems to go wrong. Unexplained attacks, people rejecting you for no reason, disguised envy, doors closing without logical reason. You look around and ask, what did I do? And most of the time the answer is, nothing. You just exist. And that alone bothers some. The enemy does not rise against those who are standing still. He does not bother with those who are conforming. But when someone carries light, carries a purpose, carries a gift, the war becomes inevitable. Not because you want conflict, but because your presence is already a confrontation. Many chosen ones live under attacks that seem unjust. They are misunderstood, pushed away, rejected. And the most painful part is that this often comes from where you least expect it. Close people, familiar environments, places where you just wanted peace. But instead, you find resistance. This happens because your light reveals what others try to hide. What is false is disturbed by what is true. What is superficial feels threatened by what is deep. And when you arrive carrying truth, presence, discernment, the darkness stirs. But do not be fooled. This war is not against people. It is spiritual. It is silent, but real. It is fought behind the scenes of your life, where almost no one sees. And the more sensitive you are, the stronger this struggle seems, because you do not just live, you perceive. And that makes you feel the weight of the battle. The chosen one is not hated because they made a mistake. Many times, they are hated because they are right, because they carry something that the enemy tried to hinder at the beginning of their story. And the closer you get to living your purpose, the more intense the conflict becomes. But this is also a sign. You are on the right path. The war comes to shape, to strengthen, to teach you to depend more on God than on people. Many of the rejections you have experienced were, in fact, deliverances. God allowed them to take you out of some places because He knew that you would not grow there. You would only be dimmed. You are not rejected. You are protected. What seems like injustice is often deliverance. What seems like loss is redirection. God knows your future and knows that not everyone is ready to walk beside you when you arrive where He is leading you. This war also trains you. It teaches you to hear the voice of God amid the noise. It teaches you to have peace when everything around screams otherwise. It teaches you to trust, even when you don't understand. Because those who are chosen do not walk by sight, they walk by faith. And if you are going through silent struggles, feeling isolated, attacked, or misunderstood, remember, the resistance is the confirmation of the calling. You bother others because you carry something that has not yet been fully revealed. Your life has a message, and this message needs to be heard. There are people who will find healing through your story. There are places that only you will be able to reach. And there are moments that will only happen when you say yes. If what you have heard so far has touched your soul, do not ignore it. This was not just a video. It was a calling, a reminder of who you are and what you are about to live. Are you ready to accept this call? Then embrace who you are. Pray, reflect, share this word with those who also need to awaken. And remember, you are not alone. Heaven has already begun to move for your sake, and your time has come.